I got you.
All right. So we're going to talk about who our 2023-24 GCRP officers are. So if y'all haven't been to some of the meetings and this is your first time coming to a precinct meeting, our officers are the chair, Yvonne Julian, vice chair, Joe Dill, he's here. Yvonne has our state executive committeeman, Jeff Davis. Secretary, Andy Fishers. Anybody else? I know they didn't have a whole list, but I don't think anybody else is in here. Terry. Who? Terry Woodard. Oh, Terry! Our awesome event planner. Okay, there's lots of committees that everybody can join in on. I know there's lots of lists that people have kind of signed up for, but there's all different ones. So there's the finance with Mary Baylor. Rules is Gregory Peck. Membership and reorg is Mike Bowden. Candidate recruitment and liaison, Stephon Taylor is here. Event planning and hosting, Jerry Wicker. Communications and PR, Lenore Skelton. Education, Jamie Barnes. Right to Life, Carrie Gifford. Legislative action is Harrison Russell White. Election integrity. Thought somebody here. That was us. Okay. To be determined. Business networking and parallel economy. That's another group that we're kind of working on. For Walt Horn. Medical freedom. Office support. Nikki Peters. Informational resources and research. Dylan Peters. 2024 election. Working on that. And civic engagement, Joe Citino. Well, about the committees, if people are interested in some of those, ask maybe at the counter also, or come up to any of us if you're interested in getting involved, what it does involve, and just getting more information. The more the better. The idea is just to get this out into more neighborhoods, more people. I think it's the way to get to our 10,000 goals. I know my medical freedom, a lot of people are really wanting to do those things or wanting to be healthier. So kind of like staying with that realm is kind of a nice lead to get into more of what we're doing. So like-mindedness, okay? So I don't know if I'm doing the next part.
Yeah, we can transition. So hey, so on the committees, if you are interested in any of these committees, bring your name to the back table and say I'm interested in working and learning more about this committee and what they do, because they have work to do, and it's taking all of the passion and turning it into what? Action. Passion to action. All right. So with that, next up we're gonna have Jeff Davis, who is our state EC, is standing in for Mike Bowden, is going to talk to us about how the zones were formed and the vision behind having zones instead of one gigantic meeting at the county level. So with that, I'll turn it over to Jeff. Let's give him a round of applause.
Yep. And sure, thanks for the mics. You actually bought these for us, so we do have 2 wireless mics. Makes it a lot easier. Appreciate that. I wasn't supposed to speak. My vote was supposed to be here. I was hoping just to come to a meeting. That was the vision of these meetings, was to actually have the county meetings a whole lot easier, so we wouldn't be harassed and have to talk a lot. That a lot of the decisions, frankly, in all honesty, so a lot of the decisions could be made in the precincts and in the zones. So, I mean, a lot of this, and if we look at it, what we did is we took Greenville County. There's 151 precincts in Greenville. If you break it down into 12 zones, each of those zones is bigger than some counties. So, I mean, you're running, essentially, this is a county meeting. This is bigger than some county meetings that are out there. So that's a testament. That doesn't mean we should just, have only one meeting at the county level. Our issue and interest in all of this is to get more people activated, more people involved in the whole process. It's not for us to tell you what to do. It is for this is a grassroots organization. The Republican Party actually runs today on a very different format. It runs from the top down. The national tells the state, which tells the counties, which tells the precincts. That's not what we want. What do we want? We want the counties, the precincts telling, in this case, the zone, what do y'all want to do as a zone? Tell the county, and then the county should actually be telling the state what to do. So it's been turned on its head, but if you kind of look at it, it's been our issue, what we've been preaching all over the place, is if you keep it small, you can control it all. If you run everybody out of the party, you can, a few top level people with a bunch of money, special interests can kind of tell you what to do. So what we're trying to do with the different zones, and I can tell you how they were constructed. Initially, what we want to do is, again, get the power back down to the people. We are a party that is about the people, and that's what we want to push it down. And always, part of what I talk about all the time is the fact that I don't think it's Republicans versus Democrats. I think it's we the people versus the establishment in both of those parties. So don't think that we have to listen to what the leadership of the Republican Party, or we hate all Democrats or anything of that nature. There's a lot of Republicans that have been fooled and taken advantage of. There's a lot of Democrats that have been fooled and taken advantage of. I think the people of the state of South Carolina, the people of the United States, are good American, God-fearing, Christian, hard-working folks by and large, and they want a better world for our communities, for their personal households, for their communities, for the county, state, and the country, and the world as a whole. And we're taking advantage of it. And if you get our emails, we send out a daily email through mySCGOP.news. We're trying to teach people to be aware of the mental manipulation that's out there. We are all being manipulated, and we need to understand what their goals are. Always ask what's in it for them if you do what they ask you or tell you to do. You do it for me too. You can follow the money. I'm a numbers guy, I'm a financial guy, so follow the money. So what we're trying to do here is, through this organizational structure with the regions, is give the power back down to the people. It is extremely difficult to manage 151 precincts. It is easier for us, than what we're doing across the state, to deal with 46 different counties than to deal with 151 precincts. So we came up with a strategy of, hey, what do we, how do you eat an elephant, one bite at a time? Let's break the county down into 12 zones, because we have 12 county council members here in Greenville County. We thought it'd be easy, just pick 12 county council districts, follow that. There's no easy structure. There's no simple solution to figure this out. I think it's almost by design. Even if we had taken the 12 county council districts and just said, hey, the precincts in those 12 county council districts, that'll be our 12 zones, that didn't work either, because we got at least 2 Democratic county council precincts. They're gerrymandered out the wazoo. So we would have people from way over on this side of the county having to drive way over here to there. It made no sense in that sense. And then we also have a lot of precincts that are cut in half. So either half or a third or a quarter of your precinct might be in one county council district, but it's not in the other percentages that are different. We actually have right now, even with the way that we find out the zones, we have zones that it would take 3 different zones working together to be all under one county council member. Okay, well, that's, it's the same way with every house rep, every state senator, every school board, every city. We got 5 different municipalities in our county. So the issue here is we had to put a stake in the sand and figure it out. So we drew it out as 12 different zones. We picked geographically which ones seem to fit close enough together. There is flexibility to change. I'm told some of them are changing and moving little precincts here and there. That is just fine. But also don't move precincts just to move precincts. We want everybody working together. So we want all the zones working together and realizing that you're going to have to work with other zones. This is great to have 3 zones together. You probably cover up a bunch of house reps, a bunch of, maybe even a state senator or 2, within a 3-zone area, but you don't cover up everything, I can assure you. Now, the other thing that we talked about, we haven't actually run out and implemented, is an overlay for the cities, the municipalities. We've got 5 different municipalities. We need a leader for just the city of Greenville precincts. We need a leader for the Malden precincts. We need a leader for the Simpsonville, Fountain Inn, Travelers Rest precincts. So, but let's get the zones working together and working under that. We actually, and Glenn's actually put in a lot of work with some other folks coming up, working at the headquarters, but have actually done and gone through and trying to peg precincts to the actual House reps. So, or state senators, or all of that type of stuff. So it is a maze, and there's no easy solution. The 12 zones is how we're starting it off. But please feel free to work with other zones, other precincts, all that type of stuff. So Richard Sabo, he brought showed me a second ago a resolution they passed in their precinct about the digital currency. Guess what? He needs to be introducing it today to the zone here, to the 3 zones, so other precincts can pick it up. So if things come from the precinct, the zone passes it, he's gaining support. I think we all probably supported an issue with the digital currency, so I don't think that's an issue for us in this room. But some people may not know about it yet. So we need to introduce them to it and just kind of roll it back up. The only problem with Richard's resolution, I said, is when we send it to the state party, they're going to throw it in the garbage can, a circular file. But we're working on fixing that too, right? So, but that's kind of where it all came from. I don't know what more you're looking for in regards to the
We're just going to show that these are some of the zones here. Right, so we've got zone 4.
Yeah.
Linda, you just.
Yeah, that's just a little incorrect because things have moved around. Simpsonville 2 is actually in zone 6, and I have zones 1, 3, and 5 for Simpsonville. So it's a little off, but that's pretty close. And Ashton Lake's added to that also.
Why does that have a tool of Simpsonville too? Because I like to
Oh, poor little typos. Everybody give a hand to Lydia, who's been amazing on this PowerPoint,
But all of this is about getting people involved in it. Linda's doing a fantastic job, the other Linda's doing a fantastic job, the other Linda. But Tommy Marafa's he's been up at the office every day. He's up there working maps, he's working the data files, all that type of stuff. This is how we get more people involved in the process, is giving them a platform to get involved if they want to get involved. But this is also where we can build new leaders. Because a lot of, the first, 2 years ago, it's the first time I was elected to anything in the party. I was elected, as EC in my precinct and chair of the county, but it was the first time I'd ever done anything. In reality, you should, get some leadership within your precinct, where your zones. This is where you're going to get the training, and then also this is where, it's difficult to set these meetings up. We were doing them every month. It was a pain. Every other month is fantastic. Found out like quarterly, how do you do it? But it was a pain. A lot of people judged us on, you need to do this, guess what, run your own meetings, and you'll understand exactly how that's what it is. So that's, I don't know what more. I will tell you, and I'll just as an example of what my precinct, Timberlake, I don't know the zone number we're in, but we're in 7, right? But Timberlake, the other thing that we teach people is this. Yeah. Somebody else doing it?
Yeah, you do it.
Fantastic. I will skip that. Thank you all. Do you have any questions?
Zone people stand up, who's the zone board stand up?
Let's just do that real quick. If you're in one of these precincts, please just stand up.
Except Simpsonville 2, switch out to Simpsonville 5.
So y'all see each other, connect afterwards.
This is our precinct. And Sherman, that's in Civil 1, Sherman, Harriet, yeah. Civil 1 is on there.
All right, okay, so now let's go to the next. Okay, if you're in one of these precincts, just stand up.
Wow. Way to go, 5.
Alright, so network amongst yourselves afterwards, and then if you're in zone 6.
Troublemakers are in zone 6. And they're proud of.
Okay, so we're gonna now transition over to the Mullen City races. Okay, So Linda is now going to come up and talk about what's going on in the Malden city races. Ideally, the next time we have a meeting like this, we have a huge problem, which is not enough seats. That's our goal, not enough seats. So please take this information back, share it with your neighbors, and we'll give you tools around that today, so that we can activate people, because a lot of people have no idea how to plug in, but we're how to plug in. And it doesn't matter your background, you don't have to have any political background, none of us do practically, we just care. So with that, I'm going to turn over to Linda Young, who's done a great job at organizing this PowerPoint. Let's give her a round of applause. She's going to educate you on some of the races and other things as we go forward. Linda, over to you.
Okay, so John Jeff said that there are city races coming up in all the cities, municipalities, and Greenville County. And the three that impact this zone area the most is Malden, Simpsonville, and Greenville. I was able to get a lot of information on Malden and Simpsonville, so I'll include that here. If you are interested in running for mayor or city council, you really need to visit the mayor's office, the city council office at City Hall. They've got all the information there. But I do have a packet of information for anybody from Simpsonville and Malden. It has covered up like this with, you fill out the form. There's a filing fee of $150 for mayor. The current mayor in Malden, his name is Terry Miller. He only received 1,200 votes in 2019. His comparatively seat 800. It doesn't take a lot to become mayor of Malden. I mean, so anyway, to file as a candidate, you gotta fill out that form. You gotta go to ethics, SC.gov, fill out another form online for them. You gotta pay $100 on filing fees, and it's all due by noon on August 15th. So, any thoughts, running for mayor, know anybody that would be a good mayor and has, conservative, values and follows, the Republican platform, we would be interested in talking with them. But go to the next slide, please. And you'll see one of the reasons why we should be looking at a new mayor, which is the Bridgeway Station in Malden. Everybody's seen the monstrosity off of Bridges Road, the privately built over there. Well, this is a map of what it's all going to be like someday. And can you identify the public park? Can you identify the green space in there anywhere? Seems to me it's mostly buildings and parking lots. Yes, right up here is one little space that says public park. If you look really closely, it's maybe 5% of the total space that live. Yes, so there's not a whole lot of public park. And that's what they want to do. He wants to put the stadium now in there. That will hold 10,000 people and have 150 events in there every year. So we can't get them there.
Wait, what?
So, yeah, but on our taxes, it says them, the developers paying for it. That's the problem.
But yeah, but when Megan Dunn, who is, I'm not sure she's here, but I don't see her. She was in the Holly Tree Precinct, and she went and met with Mayor Barrett and to talk with him about this and to emphasize to him that, our roads can't handle this stadium coming in here. He couldn't do anything about it because the land is owned by the developer, and the developer gets to set the rules, and we're like, no, that's not right. We get to. Yes, sir.
How many people are going to be housed there?
I don't know how many people will be housed, but they'll put 10,000 people in there for,
There's apartments and stuff.
yeah, there's apartments, there's businesses, there's restaurants, there's, 10,000
people, was that for the stadium or was that for the bridge?
10,000 for the stadium.
Your microphone.
10,000 for the stadium.
That's the one thing.
100 every other night of the year. Yeah, they wanted to have 150 events in that stadium a year in order to make it break even.
Does anyone try to drive from the Simpsonville area to Greenville to work every day?
traffic is terrible. And it's even worse when Baldwin High School is in session, and we just rode in the morning.
And they expanded the road that made it work.
So anyway, here's the number one reason why you should be the mayor.
Sorry. There we
Go
go.
to the next one.
May I make a comment?
Yes.
Sorry, I'll grab the button. So, editorial comment. So, if you think that that's a problem, call the mayor. And call your councilman and call the planning commission. If you want to do something about these problems, run for one of the roles that's going to come next, including planning commission. And as Jeff said earlier, which I'm sad to say that I now understand, follow the money. And that's the sad truth. Your representatives are supposed to represent your interests, not money interests. That's why they're called elected representatives. And so part of our role as the Greenville County Republican Party is to hold those elected officials accountable by challenging them. And when you get a mass of people like this in a room, it's challenging. And when it's 5 times as big, it's extra challenging for the reason about votes. That's what we're going to talk about later. Turn it back to you.
And you'll notice, that there's no elected officials here tonight. Are there any city councilmen here? Mayors?
No, but how you doing? I'm Tim Pinkerton. I'm Simpsonville 3. I'm not a councilman yet, but I am running for Ward 1 Simpsonville.
So the city council, there are involved, there are 30 seats open, there are 6 seats total on the council. The seats are 2, 4, and 6. They're currently held by Carol King, Michael Rose, and Diane Kuzma. They serve 4-year terms, they're all at-large partisan, non-partisan positions. Council is monthly on the 3rd Monday, and to file as a candidate, you guys fill out the form, go and fill out your ethics form on the South Carolina.gov website. It's $100 filing fee, and it's all due by noon on the 15th. So I would like to encourage you, that you give this some consideration. Because again, these people are elected with only a couple hundred votes every November. They're not huge turnout in the city of Boston, so we need to have some better turnout there, and maybe we can get some of these folks in place and do something about changing bridge restoration and other things. But there's also some Alden boards and commissions that have open positions. The Building and Zoning Board of Appeals currently has 3 seats open. All you have to do is go into the Malden City Hall, fill out an application. They will call you to come in and interview with the board, and you'll be on it. Yes.
You have to live in a county or you live in the city?
You live in the city of Malden.
Live in the city.
Yeah. This is the Malden Boards and Commissions. The Election Commission has 3 seats open. So if you want to, yes, ma'am.
Are any of these positions that you're describing, are any of them paid positions?
No, none of them are paid, it's all voluntary. So the Election Commission currently has 3 seats open, and then you submit your applications, you get an interview with the board, and they're begging and looking for people. These positions have been open for months. The Planning Commission does not have anything open right now, and the Cultural Commission does not have anything open. But those positions, they rotate them off every couple of years, so you just need to keep watching the website and talking with the folks at City Hall about when those positions come open, and they'll notify you. Especially if you want to get on the cultural board, that's the one that does planning for all of the plays and things that they're doing down there at Malden, which is really cool. Yes, ma'am.
So city council is a paid position,
City council probably is a
But
paid
not
position,
she.
yes, but not the boards and the
not the
commissions.
boards, but the city council is a paid position.
I don't know.
It's mayor.
And the mayor is, I'm sure is paid.
Yeah.
Simpsonville city races.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, more expensive. Go to Simpsonville.com, and if you everything due by noon. Simpsonville, on July 7th, the Greenville Journal ran a story on the Simpsonville mayor and a recap of the city council meeting, in which they were talking about all the stormwater issues that they had in Simpsonville recently and all the roads that had been washed away. And that that's a real issue, managing all that water. And they said in there that larger stormwater issues would require extraordinary amounts of money that council would have to find a funding source for. And Mayor Schumacher said that based on his research, there isn't much public funding available. And one option the city would have to explore to address the issue would be a tax increase. Apart from that, Shoemaker said he wasn't sure of any other avenues of funding to explore. He could find no money to fix your roads and your water problems there in City of Simpsonville. I mean, yeah.
No trees to help absorb it.
That's
true.
So there are 3 open seats in the city council of Simpsonville. There are seats 1, 3, and 5. They're currently held by Matthew Gooch, Jan Houlihan, and Ken Cummings. I don't know any of these people. They also have their council meetings on the third Monday, and you've got to file and pay your filing fee and fill out all the forms until August 15th. One of the things I thought was interesting is that they say they're an at-large, nonpartisan position. Click to the next page. And there are the wards which each of these different council people cover. So I'm not sure if you have to live in one of those council areas or if they're truly at large. I suggest you, again, going to City Hall in Simpsonville. I went down there and talked with them. They're very friendly folks. They are looking for people to run. And so it's a good opportunity to, learn more about how your city government runs. Again, you have to live in the city of Simpsonville, which I do not.
Who lives in the city of Simpsonville? Can you raise your hand?
Oh, look at all of you. Look at all of you.
Sally in the city. In the city, that's a lot. You guys have to know some people. You know some friends, you know some people. Maybe yourself.
I'm going to go out in Simpsonville, they've got some boards and commission positions open. In the planning commission, there's 1 seat that's available for appointment this year, 1 for next year, and 3 seats in 2025. The election commission has 2 seats available for appointment in 2023. And there is a local tax advisory commission that has a separate form. Somewhere here is a copy of the application that you have to be on the local accommodations advisory tax committee in Simpsonville. But I would highly encourage you to get a copy of that form and see if you can be on that advisory board as well to try and one, make sure your taxes are increased, and 2, make sure that some of that money is going towards water management and road reconstruction. For sure. Any questions on this? What? Fire districts. Fire districts are the most, I can't figure them out for the life of me. Does anybody know anything about fire districts? Because I called the Greenville County Board of Elections to find out about fire districts. And they really couldn't tell me anything about it either. It's not on their website, there's no page for it, they don't know how many there are, they don't know where they are. But they are a taxing authority, and there are some really bougie fire stations that are out in this county, aren't there? I have seen some really nice ones going there, which means they're taxing everybody to get money to build those fire stations and have them fire. I'm all for them having those fire stations, but I'm not sure they need to live up royalty. So, I put my voter information up there. Everybody write this down. Go to scvotes.gov. And you can click on voters. And then under there is check your voter registration. And you put in your name, your address, last four digits is your social security number, and this information comes up. And, oh gosh, I don't know how old I am now. I'm not that sure. Why did
Your
that?
birthday's
We
coming
can't
up.
see it.
Anyway, I thought, I don't live in the city of Cincinnati, I don't live in Malden, I live in a Holly Tree neighborhood, right on Highway 14. So I'm thinking, I live in a county, I must be in a fire district. No, I'm not in a fire district, but I called the county elections board and said, if I don't live in Simpsonville and I don't live in Malden, and I live in the county, why am I not in a fire district? And they're like, well, we really don't know.
Don't ask me.
So anyway, if you go in there and you look, I mean, it does give you all the information about, where your voting precinct is, and, your congressional district, senate district, house district, county council district, school district, and all that kind of good information that you need for, knowing who your representatives are.
I wonder if the fire district is on that CGIS.
Look how,
That's fascinating.
so the only way to find this is if you go to that website and look up your own information, you might find out that you live in a fire district, and if you do, go down to county council. Of course, you're gonna have to pay to park in the new parking deck, and then go into the council to do your business. But, the elections board is right there on the main floor, and you can go in there and ask them for information on how do I register to be on the ballot for the fire district in my area. Yes, sir.
It's been a while, but everybody's in the fire district, right? But there's certain ones that are, I don't know if it's the right term, incorporated as a district, like, I know Wade Hampton Fire Department, they got a district. Harker has a district. They're kind of like their own entities, so to speak. But fire department I used to be in, we would have to go county council for them to raise the millage for that fire department. It's Clear Spring Fire Department now.
Okay.
But these others, some of the others, they're their own, and they say we're gonna go up, and then they tell the county this is how much our millage is. So
And they have some kind of board, and the board is elected. But there's not, Jeff, do you know anything more about it?
And they're working on it, but it's very confusing. Honestly, if you really want to know what fire district is, just dial 911.
That's what the lady at the elections board, she asked me, she said, well, who do you call when you have a fire? And I'm like, 911.
But Linda Stefan's here, and he'll talk about it. He's on the county recruitment committee.
All right, our call to action, and we have Stefan, who is our chair of the candidate recruitment committee, who will help us in, potential candidates, and people who want to be candidates for various offices, in running for those offices, and
Over to you.
are you?
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to apologize, I got some allergies going on, so my voice squeak, because I'm not going through puberty. Allergy issues going on. Okay, so first and foremost, as the candidate recruitment committee, we'll do this labor for you. What we want you to do is come to us and say that you have an aspiration to run for office. Tell us where you are, where you live, and what you think you want to run. Now, we do advise you tonight, maybe this is not a good seat, this is how much you're gonna have to raise, this is how much you're gonna have to work, and everything like this. But we'll do the paperwork, we'll get you the paperwork, what you need to file, we let you know the date, we interview you, we help you with your focus in your campaign. We tell you what you need in order to run. We put that all together when you come and sit before us, because what we're trying to do is send you out of that room ready, for day one, day two, when you will get started running, is when you come to see us by talking to your friends, talking to your neighbors, and all those things like that. So day two, when we send you out, you should be ready to run your campaign because we're gonna give you information you need to run the campaign. So we know about all the boards and everything that are available. Now, the board seats are not elected, but they have to be appointed by council. So that's another committee, but we will refer you to that committee, and your information to that committee to get you on any board that you want to be on. The boards that we found out through, and I didn't know this until I got in this position, but the boards are what really run the government of the county. They are who run the board. So let's go to the fire districts that we were talking about. So there are incorporated fire districts and unincorporated fire districts, and there are state districts, and there are just regular fire districts. Everybody doesn't have a fire district. So how they came about, who get a fire district, who doesn't, what's incorporated, the state appointed some fire districts, that's magic. It's all magic, because nobody knows. We went through the election commission, they couldn't even answer our question about that, so it's magic. So, but the bad thing about the magic is that is what drives your increase in your taxes. How it was explained to us was that when you get one of these fire district persons and they're elected, they become chummy with the fire department and the chief. The chief says, you know what, we need to pay raise. So if he's in the pocket with them, what is he gonna go tell us? My boys need pay raise, and it's your tax dollars increase because they are. And like somebody else said, we got some real nice ones. We have really extremely nice ones. I mean, $10 million nice fire stations and stuff like that. When you go to Spartanburg and you see they got, just those sheds and things like that, like $10,000, and we got $10 million here. So we learned this all the hard way of trying to get people to run for office. So what we're asking for is, if you know somebody, if you are at church and somebody's like, I'm really sick of this and everything like that, send them our way. Even if they don't really want to run, if they just got that inkling, because what we're trying to do now is get people set up. We're going to have a candidate training. We're going to offer candidate training. When we do training, even if you don't run for office, you will know what a good candidate looks like and what a good candidate sounds like. So we're preparing people that want to come to our training and that want to think about being a candidate. Because it's a lot of work being a candidate, but if you hear somebody say they're tired of this situation, you hear somebody saying, somebody needs to do something about this, send them our way. And I'll just give out my email. My email is S as in Sam, D as in dog, M as in man, 1911 @hotmail.com. And my phone number is 803-479-0844. It is, Madam Chairman and Jeff's dream is to have everybody contested for a seat. It is our job to make that happen. So we're running behind the ball, so I'm gonna need y'all to help me out with some candidates to run for office. Yes, sir. S as in Sam, D as in dog, M as in man, 1911 @hotmail.com. So we will have your filing dates, we will have all that information, we will tell you where to go get everything you need, and we will send you out the door ready to be a candidate or be able to spot if you're a candidate or not. That's all I have. Any questions for me?
Your name is Sam?
My name is Stefan.
Oh, Stefan.
Yes, STEPHONE Taylor, TAYLOR.
We need to get you some business cards.
Hey, say that louder for Jeff.
Everybody get some money.
Yes,
What is your new,
I-
county, in your county?
Yeah.
What city do you belong to?
Well, if you live in the county, you're either in, if you're in the county, you're in Greenville County.
You don't belong to the city.
So you don't belong to the city, you're outside of the city. But the county has boards, the county has all those committees and things like that as well. That we definitely need to get people on. According to Angie's email, we need to get people on that now.
I didn't go in there.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be more than glad, if you call us and email us, we'll be more than glad to help you find something that you think you might want.
Are there fees for training, and what would like be the hours, days, coverage?
So right now, we're in the process of working that out, but we're gonna send out a blast email as soon as we get it set in stone. But if you wanna reach out to us, then we can have you on the list, so we know who to send it to the moment we get it. Yes, ma'am. Anybody else?
Jeff,
Yes.
since Dan Tripp, county councilman, doesn't live that far from here, did you ask him to come tonight?
No. Jeff, did you ask him?
No, we did not.
Oh,
I have reached out to Dan Tripp though. He's never responded to a phone call or email to me, so just so you know.
I will tell you what I was Dan. Dan Tripp,
Stefan, his name's Stefan.
Dan Tripp and I both campaigned hard for Ted Cruz in 2016, so I'll see what I can do for you, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Let's see what we can do now.
All right, thank you. Yes, sir.
I invited David Bond tonight, but
Okay.
And I
Yes, ma'am.
my rep, but he's out of town.
So I talked with Dan Tripp before this, county raising the taxes. And, yeah, he was just like, they ran that through. And they didn't listen to anyone about it. And he was one of the spearheads of that move.
And do realize Dan Tripp is a political consultant, so he knows how to run races. That's how he got elected, but he's paid. You don't really know what he's getting paid on the other side. So that's where his motivation is. As Joe said, follow the money.
Republican people.
So, I'm Tom Rafa, I'm president of the Legal Precinct, I'm also on the rework and membership committee for the Greenville County Republican Party. I had looked into maybe trying to get onto one of the fire districts. I can tell you, it started in the 1800s with the water districts. It started out as water districts, and then, of course, like fire, you need water, so the fire department kind of moved in. Also, if you got water, you gotta have sewer. So some of them turned into sewer projects also. So from what I understand now, all the sewer is turned over back to a third party that's doing all the sewer stuff. And some of them still take care of the water and your fire department. So it's very hard to find that information, but I kind of try to search it myself too. And I guess if you have the time, you can find it. It's really hard.
Hey, we're good on time, but I just want to just interject a moment. First of all, Stefan, thank you for what you're doing. Why are you doing this? Why?
Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Because we need a
It's not easy, but why?
We need a change. I stepped in to help because we need more people like myself want to work for a better life, and I want to spend less taxes. You know, I want to have in my pocket. I mean, yes, that's fine.
Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you so much. I want to take a second actively to think, forget about whether people want to be a good candidate or want to be a candidate. Think, do you know anybody at all who would be a great councilman or representative or board member? Anybody have anybody that they can think of right now?
Joe Farmer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Pete, does anybody
Josephine.
No,
know?
I'm just asking the question for your own thinking. If you think you know somebody, talk to them about it, because Stefan can help them. That's the point. But if you don't encourage people, they're not going to do it. People need encouragement. So my point in this is Stefan's doing it because he cares. You're here because you care. There are other people who care who could do it. They just need someone to encourage them. So I just want to put that thought in your brains to encourage others. Stefan, thank you so much. Any other questions for Stefan? All right, we'll just keep moving on. All right, next up on our agenda is precincts and precinct organization. For Greenville County, we have a goal to get to 10,000 Greenville County Republican Party members between now and the next election. We need members that are connected in. It's simple to become a member. You go online, plug in Greenville County GOP.greenvillegop.com. Sorry, Greenville GOP.
There's forms in that.
And there are forms in the back. There's no fee for joining, but we ask you to consider a $20 donation as becoming a member. Why? I'll tell you an interesting and somewhat sad story. Normally, Greenville County would get funds through our county convention. But in an unprecedented event this last year, the state took over Greenville County's county convention and removed the fee. And so basically leaving us without our #1 way to get funds. So why was that? That's a long story. You can talk to Jeff or anything afterwards. I'm not going to get into the story. But it's not because they favored having the populace get really engaged. That's not the reason why they did that. Anyway, the goal here is we want you to become a precinct. We want you to become a GCRP member. Please sign up. There's no fee. If you're willing to donate and you can afford it, please do. That's going to help us in that situation as we continue to grow the party here and get stronger. I'm going to talk about a few other things as leaders. If you're a leader in a precinct, it's a good thing to have local precinct meetings. How many of you are leaders? Raise your hand. Good, great. And we're going to talk a little bit about precinct goals and precinct meetings. I'm going to share with you a little bit about my goals as a precinct leader, precinct president. My goals are to grow our primary voters from 318 to 636, which is a doubling between now and 2024. We want to knock on 700 doors between now and November 6th. And we want to inform our Malden voters on what's going on here in the open board roles and the open city council roles, and recruit and promote candidates. Those are our goals. It's good to have a few simple goals that you can talk to people about to engage them, that are meaningful. And one of the things that we're also doing is a door knocking campaign. Again, for our precinct Malden 2, we want to knock on 700 doors. But we have these wonderful, beautifully printed out, We Are the People door hangers. So when you're going out and meeting somebody, you can simply say, hey, hi, my name's Joe Citino. I'm here from the Greenville County Republican Party. I'm here local. I live in your precinct. And I care. And that's why I'm here. I want to tell you a little bit about what's going on. I want to hear from you what matters to you. The most important thing that you can get on a door knock is what matters to the person on whose door you just knocked. And I can tell you that it's a great way to engage people. And often if you listen, they'll come to the point of, I don't even know what I can do. And that's where you can plug in and help them and say, we know what you can do, and we need your help. So that's what we're about. This is a tool. I'm going to let this get passed around. You can buy these for the incredibly awesome price of 10 for $1 at the back table. So if you want to go out and get active and get connected and reach people, it's a very simple tool to go do that. 10 for $1 at the back table. And what all this comes together towards preparing for our reorg 2020. Looking at 2025. Trying to make sure I got the right number. Why does that matter? So as we're trying to change the Republican Party of South Carolina by changing Greenville, we've actually spread this movement across the state. And there are many other counties that are now engaged where regular Americans, patriotic, American First Patriots, that have taken over precincts and counties in our state. What was the number? 18 votes, right? 16. 16 votes was the vote differential that won the South Carolina Republican Party chairperson's role. 16 of the state. It's unbelievably close. that we can wrench this out of the hands of established leaders who get their pockets lined with money and are not doing the will of the public, and replace it, like our founding fathers intended, with people like you who actually care and are going to do something meaningful and represent the populace, not their own financial interests. That's what's at stake in 2025. So what do we need to do? We need to get more delegates and more counties that are going to vote out the old leadership and vote in new leadership. That's what we need to do. And the way we do this is by engaging voters. In the end of the day, it's all about the voters. And it's all about engaging them. And the way you engage them is face-to-face, people-to-people, real to real. And these are tools like this, the door hanger, but the real thing is just people-to-people. So we're going to now give you some tools to get into that mode of reaching out to people next. But before we do, I forgot about this stuff. Thanks, Linda. Sorry. So there are in the back wall, there are unorganized precincts that have little yellow stickies on them. We're going to cover some of these here. Those are precincts that either don't have an executive committee person. Executive committee person, for those who don't know, represents that precinct to the county, or a president who presides over the local precinct, Greenville County Republican Party precinct group. And we need to recruit people for these roles. So the first one is Conisty. Conisty needs a president for the precinct. So if you know anybody in the Conisty district that is a America First Patriot, please ask them, plug them in to Stefan or anybody else here, Linda, myself, Jeff. We can try to help them get connected in. The next precinct is Greenville 29. It's unorganized. What does that mean? That means they don't have an executive committee person, they don't have a president, they have no leadership. So Greenville 29 is in need of leadership. Again, there's maps on the back that'll give you all the details of where this is. But we're definitely in need of leaders here if you know anybody in Greenville 29. Malden 6, needed and needs an EC, but we have Flora Searcy, who wants to be the EC for Malden 6. Give her a round of applause. Which is awesome. So Flora, new to the party, got connected in through Irene and Dave, and then came to the reorg makeup, and then plugged in and learned that she could be the EC, and we're trying to get her going. Now she's going to do that. So great job. Great job, Flora. Malden 7 needs a president. So if anybody knows people who live in Malden 7, again, send them to one of the leaders. We try to plug them in. They need a president for Malden 7. Fountain Inn 1 needs a president. This is downtown Fountain Inn. You know anybody that lives in downtown Fountain Inn? Likely they're in Fountain Inn 1, and they need a president. And Long Creek is unorganized. That means they have no EC and they have no president. So Long Creek, if you know somebody who lives in Long Creek, same story. Pineview is what? Unorganized. I would hate somebody to say that to me, but that's like my desk is unorganized. But Pineview is unorganized, and so it needs both an EC and a president. And then there are some precincts here that are partially organized, where you have somebody who's holding multiple roles. Jerry's here. Hey, Jerry! Jerry's a dynamic duo, both EC and president. If anybody lives in Jerry's Simpsonville 4 precinct, Jerry has promised filet mignon dinners for life. Anybody who signs up to be his president. Is that right?
If you like venison fillets, you're welcome.
Venison fillets. And then William Welsh is William here? Is both EC and president of Dunkin', not to be confused with Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Precinct. So he's looking for help. And then Moore Creek. Diana is both EC. Diana back there. Hey, Diana. Diana has promised lifetime massages. Okay. And then that's about it. So back on the board there, if you can look at the map, and I can't read it here, it's too tiny, but you'll see where those are, and if you know anybody, just send them our way. Even if they're not in that precinct, you know anybody, we'll plug them into some precinct, whatever precinct. Okay, Linda, is there anything else you wanted me to cover on these slides? Is that it? Okay, everybody just stand up for a second. Take a deep breath. Put your hand up over your head. Pat yourself on the back and say, good job today. All right. Now sit down. Glad to sit. Okay, so we're going to talk about the importance of precincts and precinct leaders. Like, why does this even matter? How many of you never knew, before you got connected with the Republican Party, you had no idea what a precinct was? Me too. What are you talking about, precincts? So, precincts are the bedrock of the Republican Party. If they're working together, they create a foundation for a county. If they're not working together, it's just like a bunch of sand, all discombobulated, and you can't build anything on it, and you can't do anything with it. So it's important for you to understand that to fix our country, you got to start by fixing the precincts and the structure underneath the Republican Party. And it's not by accident that it's not well communicated, because if you were really trying to do that, you'd make it really well communicated. But it's not that. But we, the people, need to take this back. That's what we've got to do. So, foundation is strong. We can go build not only South Carolina, but then spread this across the nation. And there's a whole movement across the nation to rebuild precincts. It's called a precinct strategy. You can look it up. And what I'm going to teach you here is just a few concepts to help you strengthen your precinct. And it all boils down to connecting with people, listening, building trust, representing them, and coordinating action. And we're going to cover those here. So these are the 5 steps to really becoming a great precinct leader. The first is connect. The second is to listen to people. The third is building trust. Fourth, coordinate action. And finally, represent, which is an essential part of what we do as precinct leaders. So I'm going to cover some basic concepts in each one of these. To connect with people, there's a requirement. First thing you've got to do is actually meet people. You actually have to say, hello, my name is Joe Satino. You actually have to go out there and meet somebody and learn about them. I want to encourage you that as you're going out and connecting with people in your precinct, spend more time asking than you spend telling. More time asking and learning, more time with your mouth quiet and your ears open. Share something valuable to them based on what they're saying, based on what they're interested in. And remember who they are and follow up with them afterwards on whatever you've agreed to follow up with them on. If you've agreed to give them information, follow up with the information. If you've agreed to connect them with somebody, make sure you do that follow-up connection. That's the starting point of connection. So, simple, number 1 is what? Connect. Okay. Number 2, listen. There are a lot of skills in listening. You can take courses in listening. I've taken courses in listening. I'm still learning how to listen to my wife, Chrissy. And but here's the thing. You need to understand who are they and what do they like and what matters most to them. What are they hoping for and what are they worried about? If you ask people these questions when you're knocking on doors or you're at a social in the neighborhood, hey, what are you worried about in our nation? Like, drop the mic. That's going to go on for about 30 minutes for most people. But you're going to learn about the people and what matters to them. What are you hopeful for? These tools in listening will help you understand who they are and how you can plug them in. How you can connect with them to build a precinct and to build some strength in our nation. And this gets to the third big tool. As a precinct leader, you build trust. How many of you have a high degree of trust for your city council people right now? Nobody? Why? Okay, why is that? Somebody give me a reason why you don't have high trust for your city council people. They lie. Okay, good one. What else?
They haven't connected.
They haven't connected. They don't answer the phone. What else?
They don't know what matters to us.
They don't know what matters to you. Okay. Okay, they have not built trust. They have not built trust by doing the basic thing of representing. The basic thing of representing. So, this again, as you are connecting with people, the opportunity to follow up and do something that builds trust and credibility is an essential piece of being a good precinct leader. So pick something to do, however small, and then follow up and do it, however small. The fourth is really about coordinating action. And this is what the committees are all about. If you care about medical freedom, there's a committee for you. If you care about election integrity, there's a committee for you. And there's organizations plugged in across our country that you can plug into. If you care about candidates that are good in your city council, there's a committee for you. Plug in. And coordinate action. What you're trying to do is identify, as you're connecting people, the like-minded. Who are they like? Who would they want to connect with based on their passions and interests? That's essential. And then take the next step to invite them and enroll them. So there's a difference between saying, if you want to, Doug, if you want to, you can plug into this committee. And a difference between, hey, Doug, based on what you said, I want you to plug in with Stefan. He's all about finding great candidates. I want you to. There's a difference between I want you. I'm going to pull you up for a second. I want you to. Oh, he pulled me down. The invitation of a human being into the circle is far different than the call me if you need help. How many of you heard that? Hey, if you need anything, let me know. And you know what that means. It's kind of hollow. But I want you to join me. That's different. So take the step, thank you, Doug, you can sit down. Take the step to enroll them into the cause actively and give them a part to play in the story. Don't just leave them, bring them into the room and leave them there to figure it out on their own. Give them a part to play. When you connect them with Stefan, actually say, hey, Stefan, I think this person's going to be great at this. Give them a part to play in the story. Don't just leave them hanging. So these are simple things, but they're the difference between taking somebody from inactive at home, watching the TV, and just being mad, and being active like Linda, and doing stuff and engaging other people and light the world on fire, or Irene. That's the difference. So take that and run with it. And then finally, remember that you're a representative. Representative means, it means what it says. It means representing others, not yourself. And it representing your precinct citizens. And if you don't know what they think, then you're just like all the other representatives who are doing what they want, not necessarily what their contingent wants. So you need to know their values and their issues. You need to take the time, like in these meetings, to communicate those upwards. That's not the purpose of today, but that's the purpose of the zones, is to communicate those issues upward, as Jeff mentioned. And then vote, when you have to vote, reflecting their values, or speak reflecting their values. My contingent said this. I'll tell you, when we went, Christy and I were trying to fight this budget increase at county council, we went out and asked people, okay, how many of you want a budget increase, and how many of you would rather actually have a discussion about what the budget increase is about and for before voting? And, 100% of them wanted to know what it was about before. I don't know why. There was 0 people that just wanted to increase their budget and taxes. Yet, our council person did nothing, did not respond in a meaningful way. And so that is what representing is, getting people active, getting people involved. We hope people write letters. And that's what being a representative is. Inform people, let them get engaged. So these are the 5 steps to really becoming a great representative. We have this tool, as I mentioned. It's going around the room, hopefully, unless somebody took it. And where is it around the room? But if you can get these 10 for $1, it's pretty simple. And you can hand it out. And again, let's just finish up on this one point. The 5 points. First step, connect. Second, listen. Third, build trust. Fourth, coordinate action. And 5th, represent. So this is going to help you become a great precinct leader. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Linda on communications.
So there's several ways that the Greenville County Public Committee Party can communicate with all of you. First, is everybody getting the emails? There's one that came up today from Yvonne. Came up late this afternoon. So if you're not getting emails from Yvonne on a regular basis, then let us know, or go to Greenville team at GreenvilleGOP.com and email them. They go straight to Olga, and she will help you get on that list. So make sure that you're getting the emails.
416.
Go see Olga, she's in there. All right. So, 1, make sure you're getting the emails. 2, we communicate via Signal Chat. It's an app that you download on your phone. There are several different pages, I guess is what you want, that you can become a member of and get communication that way. On the events chat, you'll probably get 5 or 6, maybe 10 chat messages a week. And almost everybody is on the events page. Or you should be. If you aren't, again, email teams@greenvillegop.com. Email her your phone number. Download the app. She will get you connected. But there's also a precinct members chat. And that's very active. It can have anywhere from 10 to 50 to 100 messages posted there every day. So if you like getting lots of chat messages, that's one. And they cover a range of topics, everything from events that are going on that day, that are going on there, to events that are happening in the future, to medical freedom issues, to food label issues was part of the discussion today. Also, people find other events on War Room, or they see chats and YouTube videos on War Room and Rumble, and they send those links out to everybody to share them with people. So if you're interested in seeing and reading and watching a lot of videos and information on all sorts of national topics as well as local topics, you can join the precinct members chat. I highly encourage you. If you don't want to get all those text messages, just delete them at the end of the day or at the end of the week, and just start over with what's coming that day. And you don't have to read everything. We also have Facebook pages, which you can go to. Greenville County GOP has a Facebook page. So I highly encourage you. We've got 1,100 followers. We should have a whole lot more than that. Please follow it. You'll find events there as well. And also, comments. I'll bet you this is being, I don't know if it's being live streamed, or it's being live streamed on Facebook as we speak. And so there are events that get live streamed there. The meeting on Monday, August 7th, the business meeting, August 5th, 7. That meeting will be live streamed, and you can also find them later on, on YouTube, but there'll be links there to this meeting as well as several others, and to other events that we have. So, and then a bunch of pictures of all the various events we've had over the last year. Some of that. Yeah, so it's a very handy way to communicate. There's also a new Facebook page out called Change Greenville County Council 2024. I highly encourage you to join that one because they're going to be looking for new council members. They'll be supporting people who want to run for office, for Greenville County office. I know Butch Kirby, he is not running again.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
So they will be looking for a candidate there, and
Liz Sanders, is she running again?
I don't know. I just know that we're just one.
I'm sorry.
But we need someone to run against Danny Gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Facebook?
Facebook? That's a Facebook page, yes. So it's called Change Greenville County Council 2024. So please consider, following that one as well.
Who runs that? Who runs that? There is, we know?
Hang on, I can't remember her name.
Ron Matthews is one,
Okay.
and the other one is Sherry Webb. Does that sound right? Sherry Lynn Webb. I was hoping that some of these folks would be here tonight. But they have brought in a whole, there's some of us in there, but there's a whole group of other people that are pissed off like we are in there. And so if we can,
And they are good candidates to join us as well, and we should be inviting them to these meetings. So, next is my personal favorite. The Five Forks residents opposing excess development and wasteful land clearing. So, anybody who lives on Adams Mill Road and Howard 14, where I live, and drives that road every day, knows the wonderful farm that we have across from near the Publix and where that tennis club. And it's the last large piece of green property at the southern end of Woodruff Road that is still one, it's 39 acres, and the women of Squires Creek, which is a neighborhood also along Adams Mill Road, they got together and they have formed this website, and there are now hundreds of people. This is fine. It's a Facebook page, but there are hundreds of people now on this Facebook page. They have organized people to go to the planning commission meetings for the last in June and July. There were about 50 of us there this last week, and we got it voted down because they wanted to build 170 townhomes on that lovely little farm.
Can I tell you that this started way before that? This started with all the development on Woodruff Road, at all our farms, and we knocked them all down. So this has been going on for years, and Janelle Phillips, Janelle is the one that started this, and she couldn't go to that last meeting that we were at because she had to go and have surgery. But if it hadn't been for her banging the drum and getting people interested, especially still on Woodruff Road, we have farms.
Yeah. So anyway, the last, it's going to the full council meeting on August 15th. We need people to show up, wear your GCRP t-shirts, wear red, and there'll be signs there that you can hold up saying vote no, but we do not want 170 townhomes on this lovely little farm. It has been suggested by people in the committee, or people in this group, that we should turn it into a park, county park. We don't have a county park at that end of town, and we really need one.
Linda, can you tell them also that there's another zoning that we've been fighting up at Levon Road? They want to put a gas station and a child care center right behind the neighborhoods at Whitehall. Well, there's 3 denials so far. this hopefully will be the 4th, August 15th. And I have plenty of signs, so come, if you don't have anything else to do.
Good job. Good job for being active.
But they're also, they're talking about other places around the city now too, just not on Woodruff Road.
Yeah.
They're trying to get folks active to, be aware of the zoning and the development in the community. So Jeff mentioned earlier, he mentioned mySCGOP briefly. The first, I've only been involved in the Greenville County Public Authority just over 2 years now. And I spent the first 6 months confused as to what was mySCGOP and what was GCRD. Because they were all, to me, interconnected, and they were all the same, one and the same, they were all Jeff Davis. So I couldn't tell the difference between the two of them. And, it wasn't until talking with people and going to a lot more meetings and finding out that, GCRP is the state authorized Republican organization, and mySCGOP is a nonprofit that was started by Jeff Davis. And the goal is to teach others about the political process and collect issues and conflicts within the Republican Party, local, state, and nationally. Does that sound about right for you, Jeff? And he does a wonderful email every day about 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, whenever he gets up. He sends out an email to, 3,000 or 4,000 people at this point, across the state and across the country, that is educational. Today was doing the mapping your precinct and how to walk around it and make it into, a dozen different walking routes that you can share that with other people and be able to put those door hangers out. And by the way, we've got the first door hanger out, but there's going to be 12 more over the next year. Am I correct about that? Maybe 12 more? 7, 8, something. We're doing more. I haven't written them yet, but we're working on them. So that's kind of the difference between mySCGOP and GCRP. One is an organization that we meet, every other Monday night at the Hilton Hotel, run by Yvonne, and mySCGOP is a nonprofit organization. They're both run out of the same building on the way. So we're both in that building sharing space. There is a class that's being offered called Constitutional Live. I have not been to it, but I've heard it's very good. It's running every Monday evening through the end of September from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Calvary Chapel on Brushy Creek Road. If you are interested, Terry is in the back. Terry, raise your hand. Wave it around. She's the one that you can get with her to get more information on that. There's another activity going on this week on Thursday called the Equal Protection South Carolina Summer Tour. It's about right to life. And it's going to be happening at the Randall House at Vicky Randall Street and Grill on Thursday evening. And the way most of us have gotten involved and where we started our getting to know other people and becoming more and more involved in the Greenville County Public Party is that the weekly coffee and politics that are held at the GCRP headquarters every Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I strongly encourage you to come. We get anywhere from 40 to 60 people at this point. The room is packed. The rooms are packed, and but they're very educational. Yvonne and Jeff run them, and we talk about the politics of the day, issues, problems. It could be anywhere from the Greenville County tax increases that have gone through recently to things that are going on in Columbia, to presidential candidates that are visiting us. Asa Hutchinson was just here, and he spent some time with everybody at headquarters during the coffee and politics time. So I'm sure there'll be a lot more candidates coming through and an opportunity to meet those candidates at this at the weekly coffee and politics meeting.
We have food, lots of food.
Oh, yeah, there's lots of food.
People bring food. It's great.
Yeah, there's a lot of food, good food.
Wait, no, healthy food.
And healthy
Healthy food.
Other upcoming events, on Friday evening, David Kopp is hosting a community social and Patriot drop-in at his house. So you can go by there at 12 Anacola Lane in Greenville, and he's providing hot dogs, chips, and bring a side dish to share, and again, meet more like-minded patriots. On Saturday, August 5th, Harry, where's that flyer you had for me? All of you should have picked up a flyer when you arrived today, telling you about this event. But we are participating in a national See You at the Library event that's being hosted nationally. It was started nationally by Kirk Cameron, and it's going to be happening in 7 Greenville County libraries. You don't have to take a picture of that. You've got a flyer of it. I've got plenty of flyers here for you to get a chance to pick one up. But people will be reading library books to children. Bring your children if you've got small children or grandchildren, and come have patriotic and God-loving, America-loving book read to them during that time. On Monday, August 7th, is the next GCRP business meeting. It'll be down at the Hilton Hotel. It's open to everybody. Credentialing starts at 6 p.m. You should bring your driver's license. Oh, and the last upcoming event that we have is an international potluck dinner. We have Saturday, September 16th at the GCRP headquarters. Bring your favorite international dish to share. Watch the games on the big screen TV, and bring a chair to sit on. Your favorite options. I'm sure they'll be out on the lawn, in the backyard. And again, a good way to network and meet others in the county. And look who is showing up, Joe Gerald.
I've been waiting on y'all up at the Lakeview Steakhouse. That's what was on my invitation. I'm sorry I'm late. Hey, good to see you.
First vice president and of the GCRP. We're glad to have you here.
Good to be here.
And we're having our next meeting on Tuesday, October 17th. And I guess that's what we need a lot. We want feedback from y'all. This is the first one we've had with the 3 different zones, zones 4, 5, and 6. There are 80 precincts in these 3 zones, which is, if everybody came, just having precincts, with precinct DCs and presidents, we would have about 85 people in here. There are 40 precincts. 85 people, about 80-some people would be in here if we had everybody show up, just the president and the EC. So it could be, as more people show up from our precincts to these, we could have, 200 at the next one, or we could, y'all tell us, do you want to stay as a large, all 3 zones working together and having one meeting? Do you want to have it split up so that there's more conversation and discussion?
Yeah, let's take a.
Do we want to just, meet quarterly? Do you want to meet every other month?
Let's take those in separate. So, given what you just experienced, I'm sorry for speaking up, given what you just experienced, would you like to keep this as a large group, in which case we just have to find a larger space? Or would you like this to be broken out into zones? So think about those 2 thoughts for a second, and if we could just do a straw raising of your hands. If you'd like to keep it like a large group, like we just did, but do that in October, raise your hand.
Yeah, these are going to be quarterly. If they're larger, these are going to be quarterly.
Okay.
Okay? That's fine.
And if you would rather have it be smaller, raise your hand.
Wait, no, first have a question, the first question. Quarterly, with 3 zones. Okay?
Yeah.
You just changed the question, so, new teacher.
Because we originally started this, okay? Quarterly, so because we have the business meetings every other month, we thought we'd get the information after that meeting, and then next month after that, we keep our quarterly meetings, so. These zones are 4, 5, and 6, quarterly meetings. If you'd like to have that, please raise your hand.
What's the alternative?
The alternative is what you guys were suggesting, is possibly that you might want something smaller, and you'd like to just have an individual zone. Possibly, and, you know, we might do that too. We might just have a zone meeting, zone 4 has a meeting. I think that's probably everybody's right to do anything they want. So, but you could do that, if you'd like to have that, as just have a zone, what you guys are thinking about that. My thing is, because we already have a business meeting to go to, that we would do a quarterly big zone. This October 17th is set up for Clear Spring Baptist Church, which holds 200 people. So we shouldn't have any issue October 17th.
So let's just do that again, sorry. For those who prefer the quarterly big zone.
Quarterly, larger, 3 zones, raise your hand.
And then others.
Yeah, you have your own precinct or your own zone has something else going on, you know, or your own precinct, you want to have a cookout for just your delegates.
Sounds like nothing is prohibited.
Not just a dog, but for the people.
Yeah.
Nothing is prohibited at all. We just learned to keep it all together is good.
One of the things that we were trying to do was these quarterly meetings, was that by having the larger meetings, I've been working on, he couldn't come, to get Curtis Loftus to come talk to us on digital currency in October, but he can't come till January. So Andy's charged with that in January. But try to have more talks and more legislators to come, because when we're more powerful, they better listen. We're all emailing them. You come into this meeting, show up. Because they're just wimps. They're just really wimps on everything. So it's like the more of us that love the heck out of them, the more they'll come. And then we can ask them questions. And the candidates too, like Linda was talking about. Have candidates come to these meetings, whether they're precinct, whether they're, you know, zone or quarterly.
The city council and the mayor's candidate should be at the October meeting.
Yeah, yes, yes.
That's really what that's what I was on, right, is for your water and citizens of Fountain and the mayors and the city council candidates. Should probably be focused on that meeting, because November 7th is people in the cities will be voting. Anybody have any other questions? Any comments on what's been presented tonight? Very good.
All right.
What would you like to see? You have comments on what you'd like to see in the future? Don't hesitate to talk to us about it. Anything else?
Linda,
Yes.
I've been trying to find about it, but I was gonna wait to talk to Jeff afterwards about it. I don't know how many in this room have actually canvassed a lot for candidates, done a lot of work for candidates. And Joe knows, I have been a hard worker for many years for candidates. One of the things I discovered that's really good to have, and I'd be willing to contribute a good bit to it, is something on your phone so that, all right, this is my problem, Dawson Precinct. I bet I called 100 people to come to our first reorg meeting. I got 2, besides IMOI and Mark Burns, which was a shop, which Daniel had just left, and a lady named Sandra. Our problem was, most of the people did not have valid phone numbers. And the ones that didn't want to talk to you. I did get 2 or 3 people said they'd come, didn't come. The most effective way that you can get your precinct, all the people in your precinct to come to your first reorg meeting and get this thing structured, is that what we used to have. I bet Jeff has used one. I know I have many times. On your phone, you've got all the people in your precinct that have voted in the primary in the GOP. And if you've got that, those are the first people you can get strengthening Bill. Huh?
We all have those lists. I have that list for my precinct and.
You have it on your phone and you go to their house and you know they.
Yeah, but you can't get phone numbers for them because they're all cell phone numbers. I mean, 90% of people have their cell phone numbers, they don't list them. So I have their addresses, and so I have, I went around for when I was trying to get people to come to reorg in Holly Tree, and I put out at least 50, 75, letters and that I addressed to them because I knew them because 90% of the people in the precinct live in Holly Tree, which is my neighborhood. So I, could look on the directory, and I've got, their email addresses, their phone numbers, their cell phone numbers, because they're all in the directory. And so I could even call them and talk to them and leave things at their information at their home. And I still, out of those 100 people, only got 7 to show up. So it's very much, I only reached out to them 2 or 3 times. I probably need to reach out to them, that's what, Jeff was talking about earlier, and as well as Joe, is that you can't just call them 2 weeks before the reorg meeting.
No,
You've got to reach out to them every other month from now until, March of 2025.
You got to go knock on their doors.
Right, that's what the door knocker campaign is, we got the first one ready to go. We're selling them back there, $10 for $1, pick up 50 of them and take them around to the hard bars in your neighborhood and go meet those folks. And if they won't answer the door, put it on
Yes,
the door.
that's it.
Yeah.
I was doing research on this a while back, and I think the app is called Data Science or something like that. But anyway, what it is, it's on your phone, and it gets loaded up with the data that's specific for you. In other words, we get the hardware list from Yvonne, and we sign off on the data agreements. We don't use it for anything, but yeah, exactly. But what's cool about this app is that you can assign someone that's canvassing just the homes you want them to see. And as they go to each home, they sign off on it, or they write some notes in there. Yeah, and it feeds back centrally, so we get that information that definitely the state's not going to give us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I don't know there's other apps out there, but I talked to the developer of this guy, of this one app. He's I want to say he's in Washington. And it's in a funny area because he's conservative, but he's in a really bad place. And that's why he wrote the app originally, because they can't get, they can't get traction. I think he's in Washington, not DC. But, yeah, data science, if I'm correct. Yeah, you're right on. You know what I'm talking about.
You have a question?
No, I was just gonna say, along with, what he's saying, getting people engaged, for Fort Shoals, I'm the president of Fort Shoals, we got all of our seats filled because we went through with our community watch. This is where people are already going, who are already locally engaged, whether they're partisan or not. This is where they're at. And so by putting that communication out via the community watch, we were able to get all of our seats filled. So, you gotta know where people in your community are already going.
Yeah, it may be good to have a lesson learned session in the next time, that we capture the lessons learned from the different precincts, what went well, what went poorly, and put that someplace that we can use. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea. I think my vote is working on that as a team for the year 2025. One of the things.
I just wanted to take a second to introduce myself. My name is Jeff Cochran. I am the District 28 School Board Representative. And if anybody has any questions that you'd like to ask me, I'd be very glad to stay around for a few minutes afterwards and talk to you and reach you and answer those questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What precinct do you live in?
28. So I'm basically Simpson.
In
A lot of this
Greenville?
area, I think there's 17.
No, he's in Vermont. He's in Vermont.
I'm in Vermont.
Okay.
Vermont.
Terry?
Just before you adjourn, if anyone likes to have a flyer, take to the church, daycare, anything about CVS
got flyers there, just come by, pick some up. That's the business they like to hang on the doors. I appreciate the work for that.
That's awesome. Hey, before we adjourn, I also want to give Linda another big round of applause. She just did a great job. And thank you all for coming tonight. We'll be sticking around for another 15 minutes to chit chat and so on. Then we're going to put away the chairs. Anybody wants that can stay to put away chairs at 8:30 would be awesome. And again, thank you all. Thanks, Linda, for putting this together. Great meeting. And Linda, and anybody who helped out, just stand up. If we can just give you a round of applause. Everybody that's helping at the back tables, everybody that helped up in planning. All right, with that, anything else? Yeah, if you have not signed your data form, come to the front if you're an EC or president.
We have t-shirts available for